Hey everybody, it's your girl Constance Carter. I wanted to go live and just kind of have a conversation and dialogue about this whole TikTok thing, you guys. So before as you're coming in, I appreciate you guys joining me today. I just wanted to have a quick discussion about this because I've seen some things and I did a little research and the way that this TikTok issue was introduced to me was it was introduced to my through by my son. My son called me. He was like, "Mom, did you see what was going on with TikTok? These people are crazy." So if you've been under um, a rock, what's been happening is there was a hearing yesterday with Congress, and Congress had they were questioning TikTok. They want to ban TikTok from the United States for security issues. They're saying that the data that they collect may be sold to Chinese government. So they grilled the CEO of TikTok yesterday, and I don't know if you guys seen the video that he that was posted like a few weeks ago or maybe a few months ago, where he was saying, "Hey, I don't even let my own kids get on TikTok." So they're like, "Well, why would you let these American kids get on TikTok, but your kids ain't on TikTok?" And so there's a whole thing about how what they're exposing our children to. So before we get started, I want to know where you guys are from. See a lot of people on here. Jump on. I want your opinions. And actually, today, I want you to get on live with me. How many of you want to get on live and on camera with me? Do you have your phone, and all you need is your phone and this link right here. I'm gonna give you the link to join me in the studio. Get on here. See right here? See, join me right here. Click on that link that should have showed up in your browser. If you have an opinion to join me, I want you on camera. I want you to turn your camera on and let's discuss. This is a very important discussion because if you have kids, my kids are typically on TikTok like all day long, all day, all night. My adult daughter, my adult son, my teenage boys, everybody on TikTok. And I look at TikTok for, entertainment purposes, of course, but I also look at TikTok for information. There's a ton of information. TikTok is like actually like the new YouTube. My daughter always goes to TikTok to find what's the best recipe, what's the best places to go in certain areas. But what Congress is saying is they're saying that, not only is it the data, but they are accusing TikTok of promoting violence to our kids. They're accusing TikTok of kind of steering. So let me just recognize the folks that are on here. I see Cosmic Soul is in VA. I see Robert is in Fayetteville. What's up, Bam Bam in Indiana? There is Eternal Beauty Forever in Cali. Sharon in Spartanburg. And then we see Newfound Joy in Brooklyn. Big up to Brooklyn. All right. So if you want to join me live, go ahead and click that link that's sitting up in your comment section. I'm gonna put it up there again. Join me because I want to have a discussion. But look, let me show you. So, whatever Congress was trying to do, whatever their purpose was, they looked a little foolish. And this is what my son showed me. But actually, before we get there, let's just talk about some facts because I did some research and I looked at some facts, right? So TikTok is the most downloaded app in the world right now. Remember, it was Facebook, so it surpassed Facebook. Um, they used to be Musically, and I remember when my sons were little, they used to always be on Musically doing dances and all that stuff. But what they're saying is that it might be sensitive information. They'd be using sensitive information, location information, and sending it to the Chinese government. Um, the push to ban TikTok in the US is largely led by Republican lawmakers, but it looks like the Republicans and the Democrats have come together to forge this effort to try to get rid of TikTok. The question is this a money play? Is this, because Facebook has lost market share, YouTube has lost market share, Instagram has lost market share because of TikTok. So is this really about safety, data safety, or is it about money? They have 1 billion users that come on monthly. There are certain countries, it's banned in like several countries. And their largest user base is right here in the US. So TikTok has 120 million users. Um, let's see. Oh, the data is actually stored here and in Singapore. So they're saying that he's saying that the Chinese government doesn't have access. We don't know. But I do think that because like I said, my son introduced me to this and everybody think that these people are crazy. I think that they will end up losing a lot of voters under the age of 35. Let me just show you some examples. This is actually quite embarrassing. Watch this.
The only face data that you will get, that we collect, is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where your eyes are. And
Why do you need to know what the eyes are if you're not seeing if they're dilated?
American data stored on American soil by an American company, overseen by American personnel. We call this initiative Project Texas.
Please rename your project. Texas is not the appropriate name. We stand for freedom and transparency, and we don't want your project.
You damn well know that you cannot protect the data and security of this committee or the 150 million users of your app, because it is an extension of the CCP.
From the data it collects to the content it controls, TikTok is a grave threat of foreign influence in American life.
With a lot of respect, American social companies don't have a good track record with data privacy and user security. I mean, look at Facebook and Cambridge Analytica.
So they're wanting this Chinese company, they're wanting TikTok to have even more oversight and more regulation than Facebook, than Instagram, than Twitter. They're requiring more of that company than they are of American-based companies. So what is the real reason behind this? Let me show you another one.
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the...
So if I have a TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network?
It will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
Is it possible?
We look real crazy. Congress looks real crazy. They asked if they had to access the Wi-Fi. Don't we all have to access the Wi-Fi to get on the internet? That's crazy. So
the only face data that you will get, that we collect, is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where your eyes are. And
Why do you need to know what the eyes are if you're not seeing if they're dilated?
American data stored on...
Why do you need to know where their eyes are? That's crazy. So Congress looks real foolish right now as they're asking these questions about TikTok. But what are your thoughts? There was actually one congressperson. I think the only congressperson that actually made sense was a Black woman. And she talked about the disparity with Black creators, which has been happening. And I thought that was a really great point. And she was also very respectful. These Congress people, they weren't respectful to this man. They cut him off. They didn't let him finish his sentences. They didn't let him say anything. And then they told him that he was uncredible and that they didn't believe anything he said, but they wouldn't even let this man talk. It was actually quite embarrassing. But let's watch the one about the Black congresswoman. I think that was very poignant because there is a problem. I've been flagged on TikTok. I had this one great little this TikTok that was gaining some momentum. It was about stock. It was like this little spoken word piece I did on stock, and it was going and going and going and going. And then it was like, bloop, we are flagging you for inappropriate content. It was like, huh? And so then it was just, I think I was up to like 70,000 views or something like that. And then by the time, I had to appeal it, and like the next day they let it back on, but then it just kind of lost its momentum, which kind of sucked. But they do inappropriately flag some of the creators, and that has been a problem, especially with Black creators. Watch this.
The problems of social media platforms, content moderation, algorithmic discrimination, and safety are neither new nor unique to TikTok. For example, I was disturbed by reports that TikTok content moderation algorithm flagged words like Black or Black Lives Matter as inappropriate content. So my first question, Mr. Chu, is do you agree that platforms like TikTok should be subject to regular audits or transparency requirements to identify whether policies have a disparate impact on communities that are protected classes like race, religion, national origin, or gender?
I think, Congresswoman, I think platforms should be very transparent. You can come and say whatever you want, as long as you don't violate the rules of safety that were put in place.
It is vital that the diverse culture of the United States is reflected online, but I'm concerned the algorithms and content moderation practices employed by TikTok are ignorant to the fundamental diversity while also failing to remove content that is harmful. My next question to you is, it's my understanding that users must be in good standing to be eligible for compensation from TikTok's Creator Fund. For example, they can't have violated community guidelines. Is this correct?
There are some details there, but directionally, yes.
If TikTok's algorithm is flagging content incorrectly, resulting in creators violating community guidelines when in fact they have not, those creators would not be eligible to receive compensation under the Creator Fund, correct?
We do have an appeals process.
You have an appeals process, okay.
Yes.
In my view, if TikTok employs algorithms that disproportionately remove content from Black creators, it disproportionately silences and excludes Black creators from compensation opportunities. And this problem happens in parallel to the lack of adequate recognition, attribution, and compensation to Black creatives for their content. The exploitation, cultural misappropriations, the erasure of Black creatives' ownership of their fashion, art, and media is nothing new. We need transparency, accountability, and bold action to mitigate against misinformation, bias, and exclusion of certain communities from the opportunities present on platforms like TikTok. So let me just say this. I'm concerned about transparency. I am concerned about algorithmic accountability. And I'm not clear that your organization holds those values.
Now, why was the only one who made sense up in there was this Black congresswoman who talked about the disparities for Black creators, because we do know that Black creators are the ones that make up the dances, but they're not getting the recognition. The white creators are getting billions of views, billions with a B, billions of views are getting compensated. Black creators are getting flagged incorrectly. So she's the only person that actually made sense. These other people just sound ignorant as hell. But I think that is a problem. So somebody said, I think Facebook is behind it. Is it a money play? That is a question. Is Twitter behind it? Is Instagram behind? Who is really behind this? Whose pockets is Facebook in Congress? You know, what is that really about? And so look, speaking of which, watch this one.
We do share some revenue with some creators who produce, say, 1 minute plus informative content.
When am I going to get paid for the data that you are selling, or you're getting revenue from advertisers? When am I going to get paid for the data you're getting from my children, my grandchildren, my neighbors? I think that's the only way to get your attention, is talk about the money you're making, and maybe that'll get you all to do what you're supposed to do.
So this is what they're saying. This is what these Congress people are saying. So first of all, they asked if you got to get on the Wi-Fi. They asked if why are you looking at my eyes? You know how TikTok has the little glasses and they do the different face shapes. They have the face recognition. Like it's things like that. But what is the real reason behind it? They're asking TikTok to sell their company to an American company. Remember, Donald Trump asked that last year. They have asked that they move the data because they have 2 data centers, one in Virginia where there's a huge data center, and then they have one in Singapore. So really, the data isn't even located in China. So they're saying China can't even ask for it, because they said China has never asked for the data. But that is the reason that they're saying that they want to ban TikTok, because China could get access to our information. And, the information that they're collecting is dangerous. Now, Facebook collects the same data. Instagram collects the same data. Twitter collects, everybody collects data, but they're only acting like TikTok is the only social media platform that's actually collecting the data. So what is the real reasoning behind this? Because they all sound real silly. And I think because they're so misinformed, just on a basic technology level, it it lessens their what is the word I want to use? Their credibility. It lessens their credibility because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so you have all of these people that use TikTok for a number of reasons. They also talked about these challenges that are happening. Oh, did you see the challenges that are killing these kids? Well, the TikTok is not responsible for people doing challenges. The challenges are also on Facebook. The challenges are also on Instagram. Everything that they put on TikTok is on Facebook and Instagram as well, but they're not grilling these other platforms in the same way. So is it national security issue? Is it money? Is it safety? What really is it? Why is Congress doing this? Why are they trying to hold TikTok more accountable than they're holding their own U.S. platforms? What is the real reason? Someone said a private company lets people use their software for free. I don't understand the outrage. Okay. Intellectual property thieves. Miss Matthews, are you saying that TikTok is an intellectual property thief? Is that what you're saying? Well, Stash Half said they're spying on us while making it seem like it's fun and informative. You might be right. So is Facebook. And I would imagine because China is a communist country that, them having our data. But believe me when I say there are definitely other ways that China and any other country can get information because we're all out there. We're all out there. Kermit said, so Congress is going to have all the shoes and clothes that say made in China on them stop being sold also, along with all the land they own here, in my opinion. That's crazy. Mrs. Matthews said, we heard not are they not getting the compensation for the dances they made up. They get scorned if they make it known that they created those moves. Oh, so you're saying that the Black creators. Oh, so that's what you're saying by intellectual property thieves. So how many here by putting in the comments, how many people here actually get on TikTok, actually use TikTok? I do every now and then, not a whole lot, but like I said, for me, it's more education. TikTok really is the new Google. So if I'm looking for a good place to eat in New York City, I'll get on TikTok, and TikTok, because it's better, it's quicker, it's 1 minute, 1 to 3 minute videos. The way it's organized, I can find any kind of information that I need right there on TikTok. But because it's a Chinese-based company, that's why they want to do it. So what do you think? Correct. They are mad about the money he's making and they want him to pay. That man said it outright. Show me the money. China owns everything and everyone out of China. That is fair. Google is the biggest spy. Google has all of our information. Love Me said she doesn't really use TikTok, only if somebody sends her a link. And isn't that what we all do, though? So TikTok literally has 1 billion users a month that download TikTok. They watch TikTok, 1 billion people. And the US is the largest consumer, or largest number of users on TikTok. Let me see. Uh-oh. What just happened? I'm sorry. So TikTok. Oh, what did I do? Crazy. Sorry about that. So TikTok has the largest number of users. Milton said they're anti-Black. And again, the Black creators have had a hard time. They're the ones that are making up the dances, but they're not getting compensated. So I can understand. So for you, Milton, if TikTok made a conscious effort of inclusion for African-American creators, would you be more willing to look at TikTok, to use TikTok? Is that the reason why you don't? Because because they're not they're anti, because what you say that they're anti-Black? What would you say if they made a conscious effort of inclusion? Would you watch TikTok? Somebody said the cars that were stolen alone should make the government ban the app permanently. China and America don't have the same system. It's way more censored in China. So that's the other thing. They're saying, I think somebody on here said that China don't let their kids get on TikTok. Well, China don't let their kids get on any social media. China is heavily regulated. China, they're not on Facebook. No social media is allowed in China right now. So, that's that across the board. And then when they asked him, I think they asked him if he lets his kids get on there. He said no, they're too young. But he clarified that in Congress, and he basically said they're too young, and they don't allow, because they're 6 and 8. They don't allow. Where is it at? They don't allow.
What you think would be the appropriate age to have a child get on TikTok?
Our approach is to give differentiated experiences for different age groups and let the parents have these conversations with their children to decide what's best for their family.
So you think that there is a sufficient safety mechanism for an 8-year-old to be able to access TikTok?
An 8-year-old's experience on TikTok will be so highly restricted that every single piece of content he or she will see will be vetted by Common Sense, our third-party child safety expert, and the 8-year-old will not be able to post, and the 8-year-old will not be able to see any personalized feed and zero advertising in that experience. So I believe, yes, it is the appropriate experience for an 8-year-old.
Well, then why don't you let your 8-year-old child on TikTok?
I have seen these news articles. I would like to address that. My kids live in Singapore, and in Singapore, we do not have the under 13 experience. If they lived here in the United States, I'll let them use the under 13 experience.
So now that defunks the myth that he's not allowing his kids to get on TikTok while he's pushing this poison out on our children. What do you think about that? Now that you know, someone said, I heard an economist. I don't know. I heard an economics say social media is like the new public square. If you voluntarily go to the public square and dance, Tina Cisco said China having your information is totally different than Mark Zuckerberg having your information. Well, the FBI gets your information as well. And listen, Big Brother is watching us no matter what. So with that being said, and I'm just being, call me dumb, but what does China having my information, what does that do? How does that affect me, China having my information? Does it affect the country's national security as a whole, or how does that personally affect me? And that's a real question. So if you can answer that, that'd be awesome. Someone said China youth use NordVPN or other VPNs to access apps outside of China. Oh, okay. That's good to know. I ain't know that. It's not the public library computer. It's a private software experience like a video game to me. Not to mention, if they cannot use our American apps, why are we using the Chinese apps? There's something very wrong. Okay, I can dig it too. So, but and that was very contradictory because China did. I read in an article today that China blasts the U.S. for trying to ban TikTok when China has banned all other social media platforms in China. So, what's the difference in, the U.S. Trying to ban TikTok? For me, it doesn't matter one way or the other. I mean, I think there is a level of freedom of speech. I do think that there are probably some privacy issues, but the bottom line is, I think Congress looked very, 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 very foolish yesterday in the conversation that they had. They looked very unaware. They looked very.
We do share some revenue with some creators who produce, say, 1 minute plus informative content.
When am I going to get paid for the data that you are selling, or you're getting revenue from advertisers? When am I going to get paid for the data you're getting from my children, my grandchildren, my neighbors? I think that's the only way to get your attention, is talk about the money you're making, and maybe that'll get you all to do what you're supposed to do.
Isn't Facebook making money? Isn't Instagram making money? Isn't Twitter making money? So that wasn't really a great argument. And then,
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the.
So if I have a TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network?
It will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
that's some basic stuff that these people don't even understand. So they look very incredible or uncredible.
The only face data that you get, that we collect, is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where your eyes are. And
why do you need to know what the eyes are if you're not seeing if they're dilated?
American data stored on American soil by an American company, overseen by American personnel.
So, I mean, again, going back to that, they seem that they're very uncredible. So I think if it's a money play and they're trying to portray it as a safety issue, they should have been a little bit more prepared, or they should have had a little bit more data. The sister, she had her stuff down, and her advocating for her community, I think that was absolutely fantastic. She had some great points. She was very respectful. She wasn't cutting people off. But those clowns, they look like absolute clowns. And here's the thing that I believe wholeheartedly. I believe that they are going to lose credibility. I believe that they are going to lose votes. Right. So our young people are, going to be the largest voters. They're going to lose votes. Bottom line is this. Of course, lawmakers aren't going to change the laws that benefit them. But having, lifetime access or lifetime elected officials to Congress is ridiculous. These people that are the same people who have been in there since the 1970s, who are unaware of anything, it doesn't. And they can basically do whatever they want to do. They can make there's no real accountability there to get them out of office, or especially these people out in Mississippi or Alabama, the folks that have been there 20, 30 years, they're there, they know that they're not going anywhere, and so they make laws and they do things that are totally beneficial to them. And so just like the president can only do 2 terms, I believe that they need to limit Congress terms, because this right here shows us that they are completely unaware and oblivious to kind of what's going on in the world, I believe. So if it's a money play, okay, let's say what it is. If they're trying to buy TikTok, they want Donald Trump wanted TikTok to sell their company to an American company. But TikTok is saying, listen, if we put all the data on American soil, which is what we're willing to do, then what's the problem? We own it. We own TikTok, but the data is going to be in America. So now China will not absolutely, even though that we haven't given them access to the data, they absolutely won't have access to the data. So then what is the problem at that point if it's on American soil? What is the problem? So where does the Wi-Fi come from? Moves, but he knows that they steal data. They were asking silly questions. When somebody said my 4-year-old grandson has more sense. We look very hypocritical on a lot of things to foreign countries more than ever now. I mean, at least they covered it up a little bit better back in the day. And I just really think that, I don't know, it seemed like American politicians, were a little bit more intelligent before Donald Trump. But I think, they have elected, or the fools have started opening their mouths, or maybe we just didn't really pay attention. But I do believe that Donald Trump has just brought out some of the most idiotic people that there are that are elected officials these days, because just with the level of questions and comments that they brought up in Congress, I think that it's absolutely ridiculous. So I just wanted to ask you guys, I just wanted your opinion on what you guys thought of that, because I think that I think TikTok, I don't really have an opinion on TikTok. I can live with it or I can live without it. My kids will die a million deaths if we got rid of TikTok, if TikTok was gone. But what's the real reason? I have no idea. What do you think? All right. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I'm going to go ahead and head on out. You guys take care and God bless. Thank you for hanging out with me.